I traveled to tropical Cleveland, Ohio, to attend the ribbon-cutting ceremony at the house where Superman was created. The ribbon-cutting ceremony was scheduled for early Saturday morning, but the night before at the Screaming Tiki-Con in downtown Cleveland, I spoke with Brad Meltzer, novelist and comic book writer, about his efforts to save the Superman house. You may recognize Meltzer's name from his run on Justice League, his miniseries Identity Crisis, and his novels such as The Book of Lies.
Why is truth, justice, and the American way important? It's not only the best, but it's the first. And I think being the first does still matter, and I think being the best still matters. And in this character, you get both.
What's your first memory of Superman?
Justice League of America number 150 was the first comic book I ever read. Superman was on the cover, along with a lot of other heroes, and like an early drug addict, that's where my first taste was, so I knew where to come back. I always liked Batman better than Superman because I could never be Superman. I could be Batman, I could be stubborn, and I can get a costume, and I can train. I'll never put a car over my head, I'll never have heat vision, I'll never be from another planet. So Superman always had that detachment for me as a character until I started realizing that Clark Kent's the vital part of the story, and one important part, that grounding, that mom and pop. I feel like I'm always writing about the human side, the side where he's vulnerable, and that is when Superman's far more interesting. When he's invulnerable, I'm not interested, because then nothing's going to happen to him. But when he has his heart out there, that's when he's obviously very vulnerable, and that's much more interesting. Mike Sangiacomo took me to the house, and I said I wanted to see the house where Superman was created. Where's the place where Jerry Siegel sat up in bed and said, I have an idea? And when we got there, it was just a mess. And I don't mean it just needed some paint. I mean, it was wrecked. There were holes in the walls, holes in the ceiling. And the people who lived there said, you know, the city of Cleveland won't even give us a plaque to say that Superman was created here. Not even a plaque. And that just seemed wrong to me. Something seemed really wrong about that. And I said, that's not right. And I said to her, I'm going to be back. I'm going to get you your plaque. The house where Google was founded is protected, and the garage where Hewlett-Packard was founded is preserved, but the house where Superman was protected is a wreck. There's a character that's more recognized than Abraham Lincoln, and I think we, as people, as a country, can do better than that. You know, it's not suburbia out there, and it wasn't, you know, it's not the suburbia that Jerry Siegel moved into and was hoping for, that it was going to be this great, you know, the future was going to be right there in Glenville. And it's a place where right down the block there are houses that have signs that say no lead piping inside, PVC only. You know, where down the block and around the corner are houses boarded up, and you know, they can't afford to make the repairs that are necessary, and as in any house, especially when something is that old, you need to put the money in. You don't have the money, the house falls into disrepair, and like Joe Shuster's house, it falls apart. I felt like we did need to do something, so I started telling people about it, and I did the only thing I ever know how to do, which is to tell the story.
Brad Meltzer's novel, The Book of Lies, ties the unsolved murder of Superman creator Jerry Siegel's father to the story of Cain and Abel. Not surprisingly, his experience with the house affected the story.
You know, I knew the Superman stuff was going to be there when Mike, who I was telling you about before, took me to the house. I realized, I knew I was going to do a scene there, and I knew I was going to do a scene that, you know, would take place there, but I had no idea exactly what it was going to be until I saw it. And then when I saw it, new ideas started happening. And I knew I was always going to do something with the attic, but it was there that I just thought, okay, now I can do a lot of stuff. I mean, what you see in the novel is exactly what I saw in real life, and I used that and applied that, and it made the plot certainly move, and I think seem far more realistic. It took me 7 books to figure it out, but I finally realized I believe in one thing, and I believe that ordinary people change the world. I don't care where you went to school, I don't care how much money you make. That is nonsense to me. I believe in regular people, and that's how movements get started. And I believe in people like Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, who were so poor they used to draw on the back of wallpaper, and they gave us Superman. We just were so blown away by the reaction to the Superman house, we started doing a For City Year, which is like a Peace Corps for the United States. We ask people to now go to the site and donate $1, and we feel like if people donate just $1, we'll save the house, like the same way we saved the house, so we can, you know, help this organization. So that's what we're doing now.